Bonjour, bonsoir, dear friends. This is such an exciting day. We are in the middle of spring, and this is the entrance of Raymond Vineyards. Many of you know and have been taking a picture in those gorgeous frames. Those frames symbolize the illusion of what you see and don't see, or what you could see depending on the frames you choose to see it within. This is one of the most historical places I used to come before buying Raymond and contemplate the amazing view behind me, which are the Mykonos mountain. And this is really those frames that started my personal vision of wanting to create a theater of nature, a place where people could reflect on what they see, what they feel, what they sense, and what Mother Nature has to bring. This is what we'll be doing today, walking around the theater of nature and reflecting on memory and reflecting on what Mother Nature has to offer to us. Come with me. So this is our world, the theater of nature. We believe we all actors on this amazing planet. We all and every one of us have to contribute our parts. This is why we structured the theater of nature into 5 key parts. And this is what we'll be walking through. So come through the curtains and we'll start the play, the act that we all so gratefully contribute to. Each of the acts are fundamental into our ecosystem. Act 1 is, of course, the soil. And we'll be walking through Act 1 in greater details to really understand what happens with the root system and what feeds the plant. Act 2 is, of course, the plant, the grapevine and the vineyards. Act 3, the animals. They're so powerful, they bring so much energy and are so beneficial to our holistic world. Act 4, the vineyardist. What does he do that creates that amazing biodiversity? Act 5 is, of course, wholeness and how telluric and cosmic energy work together, how the lunar calendar influence all of us to become greater contributor to our ecosystem. How could we walk the theater of nature without a glass of wine? This is impossible. So, purposely chosen one of the most iconic, organic, and biodynamic wine of the entire portfolio of wine we produce. This is the Domaine de la Vougeraie. This is where my sister and I started as early as 1998 and 1999 with our first vintage to produce organic and biodynamic wine in Burgundy. This is really the whole inspiration of the theater of nature. We have a few in Burgundy and obviously a few here at Raymond Vineyards and at Deloach. So this wine is telluric and cosmic. It brings the energy of the monks all the way back to the 11th and 12th century. This vineyard was officially planted in 1110 and used as the altar wine of the monks. This is why this wine, on such a great day, is always great, because whatever I do, I will be confessed. This is the wine of the monks. One of the most senior Chardonnay of all time, one of the best planted in the Côte de Nuit. And everything we do in this vineyard is what we're going to walk through here at the Theater of Nature. So first and foremost, what is so essential is to look at soil. Here we have 2 different types of soil. Soil with compost, soil without compost. So when you amend your soil with compost, you basically bring the nutrients to the roots and to the plants. And then you need to use the compost that surrounds that property you're in order to really bring all those organic materials, all those minerals that the plant needs. So you could see a major difference between composting correctly your soil. And you've got to do that in your house, even in your roses or in your garden, because this is going to bring life and vibrancy to your soil, consequently, of course, to your roots. Famous philosopher that I love so much is Lao Tzu. He tells you, think about the source. And that's the essence of all of us needing always to reflect on what life is all about. You could see here a compost pile, And we're going to see another one which is purely active and fermenting and rising in temperature, which is always what you want as far as your compost. You could see here some amazing onions, some carrots. You could see some unbelievable plants, from kales to tomatoes. Look at those unbelievable tomatoes that are on the verge to grow thanks to the amazing soil. And this is the estate soil in the theater of nature that really speaks to you about the different layers that are underneath. What is always important is to think that Mother Nature, her skin is right under our feet. So we need to be respectful and make sure that there's air and breathing so that the earth, like us, breathe from within and gives obviously life to the plant. Behind us here is this unbelievable compost pile. And you may think composting is crazy. How could we talk about this? Well, this is really important because we basically reuse everything that we consume. A lot of the plants are here, from the vegetables that we recycle, to the mulch, to of course the egg shells, to everything you can imagine is put back into this pile. And we have a thermometer that shows you the actual temperature, and as the temperature rises, fermentation occurs, and months later it's the perfect time to actually apply it on the soil. So very important in any of your gardens, if you have the room, to have a compost pile. So I'm walking around with one of the most famous wine of all time from Burgundy, the Monopole. And this is really the wine that really sets my whole world into what it is today. This is one of the most thoughtful wine of all time. So I want to have all of you think about terroir, which is really the alchemy of the soil, the plant, the fabulous weather condition, the people and their passion. And this is what we have right here at Raymond Vineyards, in this amazing place, and that's what you could feel as you look at the horizon. So all the way there is the famous, and right behind me, Mount St. Helena. This mount is an historical volcano from tens and tens of million years ago that really helped gradually to form the unbelievable valley we have, which is called Napa Valley. On one side, the Mykonos Mountain, and on the other, the Vacas Mountain, which will bring two different characteristics for the wines. And this is why Mother Nature is so exciting, and this is why, naturally, the vineyard and how we prune it, cultivate it, is so essential. As we could see here, we have, in fact, in the theater of nature, a pure demonstration of different trellising vineyards. And this is our Chardonnay on the left, and this is a Merlot right there, which is beautiful, but as you could see, double cordon here and single on this side. This is in order to maximize the quality of the vines that we've created all those different techniques to plant the grapes and to make sure that every one of them, white or red, would express themselves differently. And this is this amazing kaleidoscope of different techniques that you could see when you come to the Raymond estate, and you could see in our vineyards. You may be surprised, dear friends, about some of the plants you see, or the grass between the vineyards. We voluntarily keep them grow because it brings competition. Like a market economy, this is the ecosystem economy, where competition is actually very healthy because it brings naturally competition in the food system of the roots and the plants. Hence the root goes deep and found her food, and in a way is stressed and struggle to find it, so she goes deep to find different nutrients, hence give different flavor profile to the vine. So when we talk so much about the soil, and you could see obviously those incredible California poppies coming out, you think of where taste come from. Never think that taste come post photosynthesis, just by the actual fruit. Yes, the fruit is essential, and you could see obviously the beginning of the formation of the cluster That is important, but the key is actually the rootstock, which is right here, and the connection and connectivity to the ground. This is where the most important part of winemaking is, in the vineyards. Another very important observation in anything we do is, of course, the insect. We tend to be very rapid to judge insect because we don't see their immediate beneficiary contribution. But you cannot imagine how much they bring. Besides all of them, the queen of all, and we have many here, the queen bee, because she brings pollination and she brings all that farming and viticulture needs. But here this is a beneficial insect tree. You know, and we say on Earth we have over 2 million different insects. And we really believe all of those are essential to it. So we've planted different flowers so that they come and enjoy all kinds of food, from dragonfly to any insects, and really bring from one flower to the other this incredible word, which is pollination. And that is obviously the coolest thing you can obviously observe, as this is when Mother Nature becomes really this wholeness that is so attractive, so unique, and so phenomenal to all of our eyes. If you go further, you could see here up the owl bucks, and this owl bucks is very important because it eats grasshopper, mice, and all kinds of different rodents like that, and at the same time bring, you know, this amazing wineness to every of our properties. So the owls is looking after each of our vineyards, and hopefully your home as well, because it brings protection too. So you can see the beautiful insectary. And as I keep walking, we are now looking at the beehive in full action. And you could see we have one of them here. They all scattered around our vineyards. And you could see them working extremely hard at the entrance of the beehive. There's probably between 30 to 35,000 bees in this beehive working diligently to create the ultimate gift of God, this honey that we all want, that the Egyptian used to make as honey wine. It is now time for little Raymond Petit Syrah. This is one of our smaller wine that I'm adoring to enjoy at this very specific place, as if it was made for it. Petit Syrah is this amazing, dense, intense, rich, luscious grape variety that really shines in Napa Valley. And I love it because we only make 250 cases, depending on the year, and this is very appropriate here, and I'm going to tell you why now. You may wonder, why is he sitting on a cow? First, the cow wants me to drink. The cow wants me to drink because she wants me to enjoy life. When you think about the cow, she is the most symbolic, historical animal on earth. We believe it was, under many religions, the first one. The Indians venerate her as their divinity. She is the mother. In farming, she's obviously the example. Why? Very anchored to the ground, 4 legs, 4 digestive system. So the cow constantly, 365 days a year, 24-hour a day, ruminate and brings what is from Mother Nature into and back to Mother Nature. The horns, the energy from above. So basically those horns attract the cosmic energy to the ground and grounds it obviously to the earth. So cosmic energy, telluric energy. We link the two. And in biodynamic farming in October, we bury the horns of the cow and we put some silice inside, and it ages for 5 to 6 months. And we recently just took those horns from the ground and created a 500, which is a biodynamic preparation, to literally respray it with rainwater in the vineyards. And the cow is the principal symbol. We use the cow stomach actually to dynamize the preparation, create a vortex of energy so that the two are linked with one another and they bring to each other this amazing energy that Mother Nature needs. So we use the principle of biodynamic farming not only in the vineyards, in this magnificent theater of nature, as well as in the garden, with all the vegetables and the orchard we enjoy. I recommend all of you to follow the principle of biodynamic farming, and we'll be talking more about it in the next act, where the vineyardist really comes to life and we plant all the key plants that contribute to the best tea preparation. And I call it tea preparation, or we could say homeopathy, because this is what the earth needs to build this incredible defense mechanism. Now you see the chicken. After the cow, this is a great farm. The whole idea is to bring an amazing ecosystem where everybody contributes. This is Billy the Kid, one of our fantastic goat. Butch Cassidy, you could see they welcome everybody all the time. And the goats, the sheeps, are phenomenal because they eat all the grass within the vineyards, and this is a great way to do it through animals, much better for the ecosystem. So this is a small example, obviously, of the theater of nature, but we have hundreds of goats and sheep and cows in order to really manage and bring this beneficial contribution of every part to our own ecosystem, because Raymond is organic and biodynamically farmed, as well as the Loach. We wanted to really here create a great site, a timeless site where humans are the stewards. This is why we believe this site will exist long before and long after we hear. It is our human role to really listen and observe the site's deep history and long connection through the millennia, and to steward it through the brief time in which each human can be here, interact with this great site, and it will, hopefully, thanks to us, become greater for all the future generations. Each of us need to realize as human that we are stewards, shepherds of a place and a moment in time. The wine is just a product of a great site, well stewarded. This is the key. So now we are into wholeness, the cycles, the rhythm, the magnetic forces, the ebb and flow of Mother Nature. The human, whether it's a man or a woman, a winemaker or vineyard worker, husbands in the process, while the grapevine mothers the fruit. If the parenting is done with love, care, and skill, the wine may be exemplary, like, I believe, the Raymond Cabernet. Look at this unbelievable, rhythmic, and magnetic force that is generating through each of the plant that will then create the biodynamic preparation. And let me explain you now, in the last act, what the lunar cycle and the solar calendar bring to the entire energy of our planet, and how we inscribe what we do in the vineyards and in the winery within it.
Yep.
Today I'm reflecting with Mother Nature, and this is the best thought process you can have. Mother Nature brings you clarity, sharpness, and really examples of life, how we should live it, follow her, and of course, if we want, be guided by her. You could see how our beautiful California garden is today. Again, our poppies, our beautiful, irresistible tomatoes. And now, I will tell you all about the biodynamic preparation. The best moment of the day, we're sitting and enjoying a glass of the Deloach Marlborough vineyard, meaning in Japanese, whimsical dreams, that was started by the Marlborough family. So all the 12 acres of this incredible vineyards are actually contracted to Deloach, and we produce one of the best iconic, organic, and biodynamic wines ever made in the Russian River. So I'm very pleased to taste it with you. This has been my love at first sight, and the most interesting time really convincing the family to produce wine biodynamically. And as we left out, we were walking the different rows of the plants we have. Vervenia, yarrow, nettle, chamomile, and 9 others to really create what we call the biodynamic preparation. So Rudolf Steiner, this amazing man in the 1920s, really from Austria and Germany, started to convert again the farmer into what we call biodynamic farming, to listen to the biorhythm of Mother Nature. So each of those plants creates something very specific for the vineyard. And Joe Papendick and I, every month, are doing an update on each of the prep that we're doing. Last week, I'm sure you've seen it, we did the 500, which was a key moment where we basically spray what has been captured in the cow horn for the last 6 months under earth, within the roots of Mother Nature. And we widespread it in the vineyards with rainwater, and it became the homeopathy of the plant. And this is why we really believe homeopathy, or what we could call sometimes Eastern medicine, is essential, because this is really taking into account what surrounds us to help us resist against any illness or any negative contributor to our own self. Whether the self is a human being, whether it's an animal, an insect, Mother Nature, and a harvest. And this is why those wines, I believe, are so magnetic, because they really bring the unbelievable energy of Mother Nature into one place. This wine is a 100% Pinot, as an example, with incredible life. The wine is alive. The wine has energy. The wine has vibration. The wine brings a certain level of polarity to its magnetic effect. And that's what I love about those levels of wine. Irrelevant of the clone and the rootstock, the wine, thanks to the biodynamic farming, are magic. And this is the magic of the dreams that we want to bring in the glass. And we want to use the help, of course, of the moon and the sun and the earth. All of us and us creating this amazing terroir. So this is what life is about in the theater of nature, and this is why we're so excited to bring all of you within our ecosystem, because this is the truth. This is the ecosystem of Mother Nature that we work with, not against. We follow her rhythm to create our own rhythm. Her power, energy is so strong that the symbiotic relationship that we have together is pure magic. And this is why we're having a day of our life and a time of our life, and create the most ethereal wine with the most vibration. So dear friends, have an amazing time today. Come and see us in the Theater of Nature of Raymond, of Deloach, Domaine de la Vougeray. Come and enjoy those great wines. Clos de Vougeot Blanc, the essence of Chardonnay in the Côte de Nuit, the Petit Syrah from Raymond, right here in Saint Helena, and of course, the triptych, the Deloach, Pinot Noir, Marlborough from the Russian River. Cannot wait to share them with you.